What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Sean Johnson, the creator of Benchminer Hockey, and welcome to episode number 12 of the Benchminer podcast. This is the hockey podcast that covers all single A hockey news, as well as stories from players and staff. Just a friendly reminder, if you are following along on Apple Podcasts, make sure you follow us. And if you're watching on the YouTube series, make sure you subscribe to our channel. In today's episode, Mr. Billy McCreary, head coach of the Danbury Hat Tricks. How you doing, boss?
I'm doing well, Sean. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. It looks like you guys are in a very good spot this early in the season, hanging out in first place there.
Yeah, I mean it's early, but the guys have certainly put a really good body of work into up until this point. So we're pleased with where we are.
Absolutely. And so you've been involved with single A hockey for a long time now with the SP and the FHL back then and the FPHL now. Talk a little bit about your background and your experiences so far.
Yeah, I mean I've been pretty fortunate when it comes to the single A level. Coming out of college, I was lucky enough to jump down into Huntsville and really spent my the majority of my career with the Huntsville Havoc in the Southern Pro League, and I think I was there for 5 or 6 years. And when I got there, they weren't having too much success, on the ice with the wins and losses. And
Hmm.
we were able to kind of go through or I was able to go through the transition phase with them. And, um, you know, we won a championship my second to last year there. Then my last year there, we lost in the semis. And, they're one of the strongest organizations at that level pretty consistently here, for the last 15 years. So I was really lucky to be a part of that organization, that ownership with Keith and Becky Jeffries. And then I had a great experience in the Federal League when I played here, won a championship. And, I was very fortunate to meet Herm Sorcher the year that I spent playing in the Fed and won a championship in the Fed. And, the championship that we won was on the road against the Danbury Whalers, and again met Herm, and that kind of sparked a relationship that brought me here to Danbury years later, and I've been here for the last 4 years. So it's been a nice ride. I've been very fortunate to be part of some top notch organizations, top notch ownerships, and it's been a great experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Your championship that came with Jersey, right?
Yeah, North Jersey Outlaws.
Not so. What a year. Well,
Yeah, it was an interesting one.
for sure. We'll get to that in the end. I actually have a question for you. Um, I'm sporting this is Syracuse orange, but I don't have any hat tricks merch yet, but I wore the orange for you, boss.
That's all right. I'll have to send you one.
Oh yeah. So your Danbury hat tricks, you guys are 15-1-1, 41 points, hanging out in first place, 1 point ahead of Binghamton. What are your thoughts? Like 17 games in, how are you feeling?
Uh, I mean, we feel good with where we are, but every day is a challenge for us, and um, we're happy with where we sit in the standings. But Binghamton's got a really good team, and we can't have any bad days. So although we're sitting up top, you certainly feel the heat, and that forces you to bring your best every day, and that's kind of the mindset of our guys. And I really think that's one of the reasons that we've had the success that we've had to date is the guys come to the rink every day just wanting to get better, whether it's a practice day or we're playing Columbus or we're playing Binghamton or we're playing Elmira or Watertown. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter. These guys want to come and be their best, and they have a lot of pride in that. And I think that's the main reason that we are where we are right now.
I definitely agree with you there. Um, I mean, I know they say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But having you know one loss in regulation, one loss in overtime, are changes really necessary at this point, or do you continue like week by week?
It's a day by day, week by week process, but
Mhm.
the games that we've lost, we certainly need to look at those games, analyze them, and understand why we weren't successful, and if there's a change that needs to be made to keep us away from that situation in the future. We need to be open to that. But by no means are we looking to have a revolving door here. We believe in the players that we have. We believe in the character in the room, and as long as they show up, we believe as long as they show up with the right mindset every day, that we have an opportunity to really do something special here.
I definitely believe that, and like I said, you guys' record just unbelievable. I know it's still early in the season, and you guys are hanging out in first place there, but Binghamton's right on your tail. But both organizations have been playing phenomenal hockey this year.
Yeah, they have, and you gotta tip your cap to what they're doing there in Binghamton, and they've built a really good team, and they've made some changes there. So, every game against them is a battle.
I mean, you guys too. You've had a core group of players for a couple years now, so these guys have been hanging out and playing hockey well for the last couple of years. So, um, building off of that core group that you got there, seems like they're doing well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've had the same standards since day one, and year one for us in that COVID year, if COVID didn't cut our season short, we really believed that we had the team to win it all, and the world had different had a different idea for us, and that is what it is. But we've retained a good core of guys that really have a focus on bringing a championship to Danbury.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. It's anything's possible this year. So I do got to ask you though. On Friday against Motor City, third period, you got a 2-minute minor and a 10-minute game misconduct for abuse of officials. What did you say or do to get those penalties for those that couldn't really understand what was going on?
Yeah, I was just Kuzi took a stick up high, and it just went unnoticed. And
Okay.
he's one of the most skilled players in the league, and I'm going to protect my players all the time. And I had a few choice words and kind of lost my emotions there, but to the credit of our players, they lose me, and they just keep going. It's a testament to the leadership that we have on that bench, the leadership that we have in the organization. And same thing on Saturday night, the guys didn't miss a beat, and they really came out and played some good hockey. So we
Mhm.
always talk about at the end of the year, come playoff time, that coaches really don't have a voice, and the team really drives our success. And it was a good opportunity for us to go through that, and I was really happy to see that the guys stepped up and really beat a good Motor City team on Saturday night.
Yeah, I completely agree. And going back to that penalty there, the league has really cracked down on penalties overall this year. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think the officials are doing a great job. They're trying to keep everything in line. The consistency for the most part is pretty there, and you know they're working hard. And just like anybody, they're going to make their mistakes. The players make mistakes, coaches make mistakes, and that's why we're at the single A level. We're all here trying to get better, and that's really all it is.
Yeah, I just kind of had to bring that up because as a person like me, like I just I don't know. I don't really like to put my opinion out there too much. It is what it is. I see a lot of fans like trashing referees and linesmen, and that's a difficult job. I mean, that's a very difficult job. And if you're a fan and you see a ref or a linesman, tell them good job every now and then. Make them feel a little bit better. Goodness.
100%. I even the next night, Saturday night, I got to have a chat with the officials, and whether I'm chewing them or they don't hear from me all game, I always try to tell them how appreciative I am for the job that they do, because Danbury's certainly not an easy
Oh
environment,
no.
and they work really hard, and they're always there for us, and they're always there for the safety of the players at the end of the day. So um, it's great working with those guys, and having a few laughs with them before and after the games.
Absolutely. Good job, refs. Good job, linesmen. You guys are awesome. Don't let the fans tell you otherwise.
There you go.
And the league actually suspended you for one game for that Saturday game after your incident on Friday. How does a game plan change if you are not present? Obviously, the boys did their job; they came through and got a victory. But how does your how do you guys' mindset change?
I don't think our mindset really changes. I think we need to make sure that our communication on the bench and on the ice is a little heightened, which hopefully heightens our awareness. I'm a pretty vocal coach at sometimes on the bench,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's imperative that the guys continue that chatter and that talk and that communication, and that's what again I was so pleased with on Saturday night. The leadership on the bench was tremendous. The energy was tremendous. And the guys went out and got the job done on the ice, so it was really good to see.
Yeah, they absolutely did. Played phenomenal weekend. I mean, like you said, Motor City, they're a very good team as well. Granted, it's their first year in the league, but they have it put together, sitting in second place as well over in their division.
Yeah, they got a really good coaching staff over there. They got great goaltending. Their D are tough to play against. They got Whitey over there who's got a really high. He's got a high hockey IQ, and you can't sleep when he's on the ice. And then they got forwards that are going to work and play with speed, and they're really hard to play against. And we've had four good battles against them, and I was really again I thought our guys really played well. It was one of the better weekends that we had all year.
Yep, I agree with you there. And who would you say on your team is the glue? Who keeps everything together on the ice?
I don't know if you can just point to one guy. I mean, Johnny Ruiz and Dustin Gesso, drive our offense, but we have a second wave of supporting cast up front that really is our entire second and third line. Our defensive core is really a decor that's built by committee. We don't really rely on one or two guys, and a lot of those guys that are there are rookies.
Mhm.
Four out of our six defensemen are rookies, so they're new to the game, new to the game at this level, and really working to adjust their game and learn as quick as they can, and they've been doing a tremendous job. And then you got Willie and Net, who's really been doing a fantastic job for us and really kind of driving the train. But you got Butler and you got McLennan, that have essentially been flawless when they've gotten their opportunities. So we're big believers that depth is the key to our success, and I really believe that that's why we've had a lot of success here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say Brian Wilson. Wow, what a goaltender! Honestly, he's puts on a show. He really does.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal. And what I love about Willie is, he's just happy to come to the rink every day. He wants to get better. He's one of the hardest working guys on the ice. First guy on, last guy off type of mentality, and he wants to get better. And he's proven that this year he has a bit of a heightened focus, and I think it's a big reason that he's had the success that he's had.
Right, and I guess I didn't do my homework. I guess I didn't realize that four out of your six defensemen were rookies. That's even more impressive, honestly. How your
Yeah,
record at least.
we've got a really young team. I was just kind of chuckling with the guys today, saying that we don't have any vets, and we have guys with some experience, but Johnny Ruiz, Gordy Vanel, Kyle Gonzalez, Dustin Gesso, those guys that we look at as the veterans on our team. They've really only played for 4 or 5 years, so they
Mhm.
haven't yet reached that vet status. But yeah, we have a lot of young guys that are out of college and really lean on the D3 level to do our recruiting and come in and play the style of game that we want to play. And, the guys have done a great job with it this year.
Oh, they absolutely have. And whatever happened to Phil Bronner?
Oh, Braun's retired and he's got a business now that
Okay.
he's kind of focused on. And he lives, I believe, outside of the Hartford, Connecticut area. So, that's why he was able to play a few games at the end of the year last year. But with COVID kind of being behind us, the player pool is really growing, and we don't really have any part time players this year. And last year we had probably three or four part time guys, and this year we kind of got away from that. And again, COVID, I really think being in our rear view has put a whole new crop of a player into the single A level, which I believe the league as a whole is much better than it was last year as well.
Mhm. And speaking of the league and everything growing around us here, um, I don't want to say rumors, but there are leagues that are supposedly starting here soon with the Northeast Hockey League, and I'm not going to get into the Western Professional Hockey League. That's a whole other story. Um, and then I just talked to Nick Russo a couple weeks ago. He's going to start his own league in Florida. How do you think that's going to change? single A pro hockey if these leagues start up?
I don't think it's going to change our level too much. I'm sure some of those leagues and some of those areas have a decent crop of local guys that they can rely on to play games. But this level, it's not easy to get going. And obviously, I wish those guys the best because I believe I'm a firm believer in more hockey is better for everybody. Um, but it's tough out there. I just don't know how much it's really going to affect we're doing how much it's going to affect what we're doing, especially with the markets that the FPHL is in now. Maybe 10 years ago when New Jersey's in the league and you have all these other teams that are in the league with recreational rinks and town
Mhm.
rinks and not stadiums, but the markets that the federal league has their hands in now. It's impressive, and it's only going to grow.
Right. So, I mean, I was gonna bring up Danville, but they're in a different league now. But like Watertown and Danbury, for example, they're one of the first few teams when this league first started. And I know Danbury came in, was it the year after? But how crazy is it to see like Danbury and Watertown still in this league after all this time?
Well, yeah, I mean, when I came into this league, Danbury was the biggest building in the league,
Mhm.
and now we're one of the smallest with Watertown and Delaware. And it's remarkable to see the progress that the league has made, and bringing in markets like Binghamton, Elmira, Biloxi, Columbus. These are all big time markets that are having a lot of success at our level. Both financially and on the ice as well. And again, I'm a big believer in more hockey is better for everybody. And those are fantastic markets that are helping our league be successful, and they push smaller markets like Danbury to really work their tails off to keep up with those guys.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 100% there. Um, Now, I know there's a lot of mixed emotions regarding Daniel Amsbury. He's been suspended by the league a couple times so far this season. What makes him a good fit for the Hat Tricks organization?
Well, I just think Daniel's he's a tremendous person,
Mhm.
and he's a tremendous competitor. You know, Danbury has always been, and certainly with the Hat Tricks, we've always tried to be, a really skilled team, a fast paced team, but also, a physical team, a tough team. We try to make Danbury a hard place to play. And, since going back to our first year, you always had the Pizzanos and the Bases and the Schmitz and the Paces in the league. And, Danbury really never had, those quote unquote heavyweights. And, we really relied on a toughness by committee type of mentality on our team. But we also saw that, wear down some of our top guys. And, we want to make sure that, we have some physicality to our team. We want to make sure that we have somebody that can match up with, the Paces and the Schmitz and, those guys of this league. And, Ames has been a tremendous spark for us. And, he's really been playing some of his best hockey as of late. And, he was out of the game for a little while. He's really been working hard at, his skill sets and fine tuning his game. And, I think that 8 games, for as much as we didn't like to, to have him out of the lineup, to his credit, he really put in a ton of work and
Mhm.
really honed in his skills for those couple weeks that he was out. And, I think his best game was last game against Motor City. He almost potted a few goals. He's all around the net. And, I think it's really going to start to come pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I personally don't like to use the term like goon, or I don't like to use the terms fighters because these are professional athletes. Like they're not just there to fight. Like they can also play hockey. Like that exists. Um, but to me, it seems a little crazy how okay, we'll say like 10 years ago, maybe a little bit less, how there were a lot of fighters in the league. You know, you had like your Chase Tippins and um, the league kind of went away from that for a while. So you had Chase Tippin. I'm just using Chase Tippin as an example because I was in Watertown. We had Chase Tippin on a roster. No one would ever go with him though. So in a way, it kind of wasted a roster spot because he wasn't too interested in playing hockey. He kind of just wanted to do his thing, you know. But now it seems like the league is I don't want to say reverting back to the fighter phase, but it seems like every team has at least a tough guy who can play hockey now.
Yeah, it's kind of spread around every team. I would say one or two guys. You can sprinkle one or two guys on every roster, and
Mhm.
that was a big reason that we wanted to go out and elevate our toughness. This off season. I think that was one thing last year that really prevented us from overcoming Columbus in the postseason. Was I think they're just a little bit stronger and bigger, stronger, and faster than we were, when they needed to be.
Right.
So going out and bringing a little bit more physicality, a little bit more size, was something that we wanted to emphasize this year. And I think you look at our standings. I think we're first in our division, second in the league, behind Columbus. But I think we're first in penalty minutes by far. So I think upping the physicality and all that kind of stuff is proven, um, to come to play. But we're
Mhm.
also getting the results out of it too.
You must be buddies with Mr. Gary Gill because when I interviewed him in episode 3 of this series, he said almost the same exact thing. Um, last year Binghamton was bullied, pushed around by Watertown, and they ended up taking the cup home with them. And so that's what Gary Gill said too. He's like, I got to bring some toughness in, and we're not going to be bullied this year. So
Yeah, even our series against Binghamton, I'm a big believer that's why we got through them the way we did too. They had some key guys go down. Yates went down. I think Ivashkin went down in the last game. I believe Miracle, didn't play in that last game. So they had some really, some key components to their team that really drive their success that they weren't able to finish the series, because it was a physical series. And, we were able to win that battle against them, but
mhm.
ultimately we couldn't withstand Columbus. So, we wanted to heighten, our speed, our physicality, our size as well.
Right now, moving on to I want to talk about the league real quick. Let's say that you're the commissioner. What changes would you make to see the league progress?
I think I would. I think. I mean, listen. I think that the league is going in a great direction, but I think the one small tweak I would make is, maybe just upping the level of and the consistency of the cameras in the building. I think better footage and having more accurate footage in every facility, um, is going to bring more awareness to the league. There's so many great plays that are missed because the camera doesn't keep up, or it's behind the play, or there's a big hit that doesn't get caught. I know I deal with it, on the player safety side as well. Sometimes there's a hit that you want to send into the league, and some buildings don't have the cameras to record those moments,
Mhm.
and we're missing those moments, so we can't use them for marketable reasons, and we can't use them for player safety reasons. So that's one thing that I'd put a standard on, the types of cameras that are in the building, the amount of cameras that are in the building, and making sure that the operators are, to a quality where you can keep up with the play and film the entirety of the game, because again, we have some great buildings, and some great games, so you don't want to miss a second of
Absolutely. We're going to send this clip into the league so they know what to change next season. Because I agree 100%.
it.
I want to move on to some fan questions real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure, please.
All right. So I didn't take names. I'm sorry, guys, but here's the questions. Number one, most favorite away barn in the Fed to play in or coach in?
um Favorite away barn to coach in, I would say Columbus. Playing in the Southern Pro League myself, we had a really good, playing in Huntsville, we had a tremendous rivalry against the old Columbus Cottonmouths. And Boom Boom was their coach, and he, he would make sure that arena was a tough place to play in, and I really appreciated that as a player. And
Mhm.
to be able to go in now, 15 years later or something like that. And coach against him in that same facility. It's, sometimes I kind of have to pinch myself and, see exactly where I'm at, but it's a special place for me to walk into for sure.
Right, absolutely. Everyone says Columbus. I still have to make my way down there and check it out for myself, but yeah,
I
everyone
would
says
say
Columbus.
Binghamton's a close second.
Yeah, Binghamton. Yeah, I guess I got to make some road trips. All these new teams now, I got to go check them all out now. Um,
There you go. Get on the bus with us.
oh man, don't make me
We'll pick
start up
you up.
a bus joke. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'll hop on a Danbury bus. I've heard horror stories about the Carolina bus, but I'm gonna stop right there before I get in trouble.
There
Um,
you go.
what FPHL barn chirps you and the Danbury players the most or best?
I mean, I would say, I'll just put it this way. I've had beer, water, or soda or whatever's in those cups. I've had it dumped on me in Binghamton. I've had it dumped on me in Columbus. I've had it dumped on me in Watertown. Um, I think those are probably the hardest markets, and the fans uh, that are the that are pretty boisterous.
Right.
So those are three. And I know Columbus got me. I just got my suit back from the cleaners the other day, and then Binghamton 2 weeks before that. So those are certainly two of the hardest barns to coach in for sure.
Right. I got to throw out this team right here. Berlin River Drivers. I will never forget that team. I hated that town. It was always a snowstorm, and the fans were ridiculous. They wouldn't dump beer on you. They would throw beer bottles at you. Our bus tires were slashed. Worst city in the Fed I've ever been in. I'm so glad we don't have to go there anymore.
Yeah, just another day in single A.
Heard that before. Uh, what is your favorite SPHL team?
That's an easy one for me. That's the Havoc all day long.
Mhm.
Got it tattooed on my calf, and won a championship there. Was a player coach there. Tremendous organization from the ownership. Keith and Becky Jeffries, Glenn DeTulio was a teammate of mine. We won a championship together. So I can't say enough about the success that he's had down there and what he's done with that organization. So tremendous people. Still keep in contact with all the fans, and my goddaughter's actually down there. So it's a very special place in my heart. That's for sure.
Right. I did not know about the tattoo. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we won a championship, so yeah, it kind of made sense to me back then, anyways, to throw
Right.
the SPHL cup on my calf.
Well, Justin Coachman, well, now with Binghamton, has a Watertown Wolves championship tattoo. So I guess I got to figure out everyone that has a single A tattoo. I got to make a list.
There you go. That'd
Now
be a
this
good
one,
Instagram.
it actually would. This question actually is my favorite, and I'm actually kind of interested to hear what you have to say about this. Whatever happened to the New Jersey Outlaws reality series?
I hope nothing.
This
I
is
hope it's
archived
lost.
somewhere. I got to
I
find it.
hope, I hope there are no archives. I hope it's lost in space somewhere. I don't know. Last I heard, it went to like a California, film festival or something like that, and it won some award there. But ultimately, it never got picked up, by any big networks. And I think that was the goal of the season, was to bring in some athletes from, because most of us were either from the Southern Pro League or the East Coast League, and came down to the Fed, and the cameras are following us every day. And the goal was to film this, documentary around a single A team that had its sights on winning a championship, and, having a tough, skilled, fun hockey club. And um, it just never got picked up from my understanding. But
Have you ever seen it?
I've never seen the full thing. They showed us like the episodes as they were coming out and things like that, but
Hmm.
I've never actually, seen the final product. No.
Yeah, I have never seen this, and I mean, I've heard stories about it from everyone that was there. Well, not everyone, but a few people that were there, and I want to see this footage.
Yeah, you should probably forget about it. I don't think it's out there. Don't Google it or anything.
Yeah. What I want to know is what's on this that you don't want people to see.
No, it was pretty good stuff. It was a lot of
Okay.
good game footage. Actually, some of the footage that I remember was at Danbury Arena, and I remember the last episode where we won the championship, and the first episode where we actually lost to Danbury, our first game. We were up big, and then Danbury mounted a comeback in the third period, and it's funny for me to look back on now because I watch those episodes and I see the same fans that are heckling me
Right.
and throwing beers at me and calling me every name in the book. And now those are the same people that are wearing my jersey and giving me high fives and hugs every night. So to me, it's pretty special because it shows that how close the single A community is, the minor pro hockey community is, and everybody's really appreciative of the work that everybody gives. Whether you're on the road or you're the home team. If you play hard, physical hockey the right way, fans are going to appreciate you.
Yeah. I see. Section 202 is still there after all these years. They haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah, they're loud and proud. That's for sure.
So where's the hangout now for away games? Is it TK's?
I couldn't. I couldn't even tell you. It's probably TK's. It was two steps, and I think TK's has taken over here the last couple of years. And I got to tell you, they got a great spot. Unbelievable wings over there. Labatt Blue on tap. You can't really get that very many places in Connecticut. So, me being a Canadian boy, I'm appreciative of it.
Right. Well, I like to classify myself as Southern Canadian because I'm from upstate New York, way up near Canada, and now living in the South. And let me tell you, one thing I would change about North Carolina: pizza and wings are like a thing. In North Carolina, they don't have wings here. It's ridiculous.
What do they do?
Exactly. They just serve you a
Like
pizza
chicken
by the
thighs?
slice. It's like, okay, cool. Where's the wings? Wings? We don't have wings. Get with it, North Carolina.
Yeah, they gotta figure that out.
Yeah, they need some more Northerners or Canadians down here. Let me tell you.
I mean, we have wings every time we go down and play the Thunderbirds, but
All right, Winston-Salem's pretty good then, but other cities in North Carolina, aka Charlotte, aka Gastonia. I'll keep listing cities. I don't care. All right. Last fan question here. What can Danbury fans expect for the remainder of the season? I don't really like that question, but since a fan asked it, I'll ask it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the same thing that everybody's pretty much seen, up to date. We're a fast, physical hockey club. We compete for each other. We're not afraid to throw our weight around. We're not afraid to drop the gloves. We can win a game 8-7. We can win a game 2-1. Um, if other teams have scores to settle, we're certainly happy to work through those moments as well. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a tough hockey club, and I've been in this game for a long time, and I don't know if I've been a part of a team that is this team tough, both mentally and physically. So it's an exciting product. High scoring, fast, physical hockey. That's for sure.
Absolutely. We are running short on time here, but just a few closing notes here. Again, if you are following along on our YouTube series, make sure you hit that subscribe button, help out the channel. If you're following on Apple Podcasts, hit that follow button as well. You guys have a big weekend this weekend. You are on the road, first in Delaware on Friday the 16th. Puck drops at 7:30, and then you travel over to Watertown where you take on the Wolves on Saturday the 17th. Again, a 7:30 puck drop. What are your expectations this weekend?
I mean, I would say same as they are every weekend. It's two games. There's 6 points on the line, so we're on the road. Those 6 points are going to be hard to come by. Those are tough buildings to win hockey games in. But our expectation is 6 points. Nothing more, nothing less. And I think our guys have a really good mentality going into this weekend. And our focus really, it's not ever really on our opponent. It's really on ourselves. And if we're getting better every day, um, we're going in the right direction, and that's really our focus every day, every week. And if we come to if we come to the rink with that same focus here this weekend, we're going to be successful.
I agree 100%. You guys have been lighting it up so far this season, and it's still very early, so only up from here. Last thing, is there anything you would like to say to Benchminer followers or Danbury fans that are listening, tuning in?
Yeah, just want to say, to all the Danbury faithful, thank you for what you guys do. You know how much we care about you guys and how much we need you, and you're a big part of our success. So, we're really excited about the team that we have this year, and you guys want a championship, and that's our focus. That's what we're here to do, and I think I think everybody sees that intention here with what we're doing to date. But to continue this success, we're going to need everybody's support. And whether you're a Danbury fan or a Columbus fan or a Carolina fan, we all give our hearts and our best work to what we do on that ice. And we appreciate you coming in. We appreciate you heckling us. We appreciate you supporting us. So, continue to do what you do and get to those games, cheer with passion. And we appreciate you being there, whether you're cheering for us or you're cheering against us.
Nicely said, buddy. And again, Mr. Billy McCreary, head coach of the Danbury Hat Tricks, really appreciate your time and you coming on and talking to Benchminer.
Yeah. Thanks, Sean. Pleasure being on, and thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime, buddy. We'll talk soon.
All right. Cheers.